Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Maureen at All Things Nice. Today I'm doing a tutorial with reference to nails. From the age of 4 I've had psoriasis, and I've had psoriasis of the nails for well over 30 years. So I actually do my own nails. I use acrylic glue-on nails and I change them every week. So I'm going to share with you how I actually prep my nails, glue them on, and how nice they can look during the week, and then I change them. I've never lost any nails. They don't come off. I check them every day, make sure they're nice and solid. As soon as they start to move or grow, I remove them and put a new one on. So if it's something that you're interested in, because you can use these nails whether or not you've got psoriasis of the nails, it's my preference because of how they look, and I work with the general public. So stick around and I'll share it with you. See you soon. Thank you. Welcome back. So as you can see, I've removed some of the nails already, and you can see in this nail the slight psoriasis of the nail. Sorry, this nail. It's this nail. Psoriasis of the nail. This has also got like a dent in it and some like thimble psoriasis, which is like small spots. So I've removed most of them to just save time. I'm going to take these 3 off and just show you how it works. So I basically just get the nail clippers, and this one's quite loose now, so I was getting it prepped for today's video. So as you can see, a little bit of glue there, and you just need to file it, cut it down, and this one you can see is starting to grow, so that needs to come off as well. And they come off quite easily when they're ready. I would have took them off earlier, but just to show you. Now glue gets caught under them, of course it does. So this is what they're going to look like when you take them off. It's all glue. And this thumbnail, I need to get this one off. I don't know if this one's ready to come off. It might be because it's a bit new. Yeah, we'll leave that one for now because I don't think this one's ready yet. So there you go. Now what I'll do is I actually have to cut out and cut down on the nail where it's got some glue on it. As you can see. And then in here, these are the nails I use. I use the medium KISS Salon Acrylic. And in this box, you get 28 nails. Now, not every nail is the same size, of course. So what I do is I basically measure against each nail. And even though, you know, you've got your both small fingers and you've got your thumbs, your both thumbs could be slightly different as well. And you might not need the same size on both sides. So you get your nails, and this is how they are. They're quite hard, very good value. So you get your nail file, and you get your cuticle pushback stick. So basically what I do, once I've removed the nails, now they're not too bad at the moment, my nails. Very slightly you can see the psoriasis of the nail, which is in that one, a little bit in that one, a little bit in that one. So what I tend to do is I'll file them to make them smooth. So you got to keep them smooth. Just file them all to keep them smooth. And if there is any psoriasis in the nails, what I'll normally do is I'll take it out, put a bit of steroid cream in it, and leave it for 24 hours. But my nails are actually not that bad at the moment. So what I'll do is I'll push up back the cuticles like this. Now, sometimes I use surgical spirit. If I've actually got psoriasis of the nails, which are, you know, quite bad, and if the nail's lifting, what I'll do is I'll clean it with Surgical Spirit. I'll clean it with Surgical Spirit and leave it overnight. This one, I'm just using a sanitizer. So I literally clean the nails. So they're nice and fresh, ready. And then I'll wash them. I've already washed the nails and prepped them. Now this one, I'm not going to remove it yet because it's a bit hard. So I don't think this thumb one's actually ready to come off. So that will last a few more days. Otherwise it's going to take me ages. See, they're quite solid. Quite solid. Now when they start to grow, you can see that's growing a little bit, they move down. So it gets a little bit loose then, you just pop it like that. It starts to lift a little bit and you can get the nail clippers behind it and just take it off. And if when you've put glue on, it gets a bit gluey at the side, you just file it to keep it nice and smooth. And if you have a little bit on the end where you might get the tips, so you can press it down, you know, where you hold the nail, you just take that off and then you just file it round. Sometimes if I can't get the shape I like, which is like the oval shape, I'll get the square or the pointed and I'll just cut it and then file it to the size I like. So let's get on with it. So the first nail that I'm going to do, so the first thing I do is I measure the nails against the nail to see if it fits flush, so you don't see any of the side, and then I glue it on. So I'll hold it there, get the glue, pop a drop on there, as you can see, and because it's a drop, like a little blob, you just pop it on the nail, hold it down, and it'll spread across under the nail and it'll stick. Sometimes I've done it and the nail's been pointing in the wrong direction, so it can look a little bit odd, and trying to get it off once you've glued it can take a little time. There you go. So one. And then the little nail, again, just pop it on, measure it, make sure it stays, if it's the right size, because not every nail is the same shape. And sometimes I'll put one size on one hand and a different size on another. So just hold it for a few minutes, because this glue is actually like super glue. It's very strong. Now my fingers are all different shapes, so sometimes they look like they're pointing that way and that way. But there you go. You see the little end bit where it's been made and it's been stuck on its board or whatever it was that made it? You just fire that afterwards. And because you get so many different sizes, it's good to actually check which one fits your hand more. Now I don't even mind them being all the same size, because when it comes to trying to pick something up, this is when you get a bit of a problem. Again, you just put a little tiny blob of the glue, press down on it so the glue spreads underneath and it's equal on both sides. See that? Now, I do get a lot of compliments about my nails when I'm at work. You know, patients will say, because I do work in a clinic, and patients say, oh, your nails are really nice. Where did you get them done? I just say I've done them myself. Oh, where? How did you do it? And I just share the information, because sharing is caring. Now these packets of nails, I get them on Amazon from £5.95 upwards. They can be up to £9, like £8.99. And if you buy them in Boots or Superdrug, sometimes they do 3 for £2. And they last ages. See? So any excess glue, once it's dry, you can file it down. So because the tips where they've been made and they've been on maybe a plastic strip of whatsoever, you just file the end, make it nice and smooth, and then nice and smooth. There you go. Voila. That's one hand. What do you think? Now, a lot of people have said, oh, you know, you can get infections of the nails, you can get green. There's a name for certain problems with the nails, that you can get infections and fungus and whatsoever. Now, many years ago, I went to the nail salon hoping that I could get my nails done. And they had a word with the manager, and the manager said, oh, you've got an infection, fungus of the nails. And I knew it was psoriasis, but they wanted to sell me this ointment, like a gel. So I bought it. She said, use it and then come back. Well, you know what? In my heart, I knew really that it's psoriasis of the nails and that, you know, it's not going to go away. So I came home, put this gel or the drops in this tube, and it never worked. So I thought, you know, going to salons, they think, oh, you've got a fungal infection, we can't do your nails until it's gone because it'll make it worse. So I thought, you know what, I've been doing my own nails for how long now? I just carried on. I thought, you know what, let me just get my own nails and do it myself. Now, this particular nail here, or this particular finger, you can see it's got a bit of a odd shape to it because I've got psoriatic arthritis problems going on at the moment as well, which is an arthritis that comes with psoriasis, and sometimes you can have the joint problem first, and it can affect your ankles, your knees, shoulders, your neck, and so, you know, it's kind of inevitable, and it's not always the case. Some people get the arthritis, some people don't. Some people have the skin condition, some people don't. Now, I've been diagnosed with osteoarthritis because the inflammatory markers are not saying that it's psoriatic arthritis, which is fair enough. But probably in the next 10 years, I'll be diagnosed probably with the psoriatic arthritis because the bloods might change. I've had a high inflammatory markers, but not high enough for them to say, oh, you've got psoriatic arthritis. Now, if you look up psoriatic arthritis, one of the first things or problems a doctor looks for is psoriasis of the nails, which I have in the hands and the feet. But because, and I also have cervical spondylosis, which is a neck arthritis. I have bone-on-bone arthritis in my knee, waiting for surgery. And also skin psoriasis now and again. At the moment, my psoriasis is very good. It's under control. It's not bad at all. Just very slight in the nails, as you can see. I've had it worse in the nails, and sometimes the nail can actually lift up. So what I do with that is I just don't put a nail on it. I leave it to heal. I put a plaster on it if I've used the steroid cream under the nail to treat it, and then when it starts to grow, it then can have a nail put back on it. Now, I removed part of my own toenail on my toes because I had psoriasis in the nail on my toe. And it can get quite painful because it's like hard skin under the nail. And so what I done was I removed the nail, a lot of the nail, and I filed it right down, cut it right back. And I told the physio this, who was looking after my neck problem. And he said, good idea. Now, the thing is, like I said, I've never been treated for the nail psoriasis by anybody. I've been under dermatology, rheumatology, and orthopedics. Never been treated for the psoriasis of the nails. I've always done it myself. And sometimes, you know, you have to look after your condition the best way you know how. Like I said, from the age of 4, I've had psoriasis, scalp psoriasis, sometimes terrible. I've had one admission with a urodermic flare. There you go. Now, I've done my nails. As you can see, that one I'll do later because it's a bit hard. It's not ready to come off. But as you can see, they're firm. You know, they're firm. But if you get any residue glue here, all you need to do is just file the ends of these. Any residue glue you get at the sides, you just file it down to keep it nice and smooth. If a nail gets loose, say it gets loose up this end, you can just tilt it forward slightly and put a drop of glue. There's got a bit of glue on there still. And just hold it down. And if it gets excess, just use your file gently to get it off. Just trim the bottoms, the tips rather, so they don't catch on anything. I've had no problems with these nails, and I've been doing them, like I said, for over 35 years. I've worked in retail, Marks and Spencer's, John Lewis, White Rose Food and Home. I've worked in the NHS, in admin. Now, when I did nursing, I wasn't allowed to use these because of cross-infection and obvious reasons if you lose a nail, and it's not good. I never worked on foods in the food hall in M&S and White Rose with nails. I always wore gloves because they request that if you've got a skin condition anyway on your hands, because customers will get offended if they see somebody with a nail problem or a hand problem. You know, not everybody's understanding, but there you go. So that's the nails done, and it's these that I use, the acrylic, KISS Acrylic. You can get them in small, medium, in a long square tip. You can get nude or you can get pink, I believe. And they're called Flexi Fit Technology, ultra flexible, no bubbles, flawless fit. And you know what? They're right. They are. Definitely. Look at them. Now, I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you want any advice or want to ask me any questions, please don't be shy. Get back to me and I'll answer them. But like I said, I suffer from psoriasis of the nails. At the moment, you can see my hands. They're not as bad as some can be. I actually did work in dermatology and saw some horrendous skin conditions where patients have waited many weeks for an appointment to see the doctor, and a lot of patients can't cope with skin problems, and it's very difficult. I've been there and I know this. So like I said, if you've got psoriasis of the nails, you can even get the toenail kit too to use on your nails. I've tried that once. I only used it on the big toe to see if it worked, because when you've got a problem with your toenails, they change shape slightly so the nails won't bend, if you know what I mean. So that was a little bit difficult. So I put one on the big toe and it looked lovely. I just wanted to see what it looked like. You know, this time of the year when you've got sandals on, it's brilliant to be able to just get your feet some air. So I had just the one on the big toe for a while, and it come off itself eventually because I just didn't put a lot of glue on it. I just wanted to see what it would look like, but I sort of like didn't bother with it. I just paint my nails because I need to be able to see them and look after them more than my hands, because I don't do the feet, the toes, like I do the hands. So I hope you've enjoyed this nail tutorial. It's worth it when you are uncomfortable with your nails. It's not too expensive. When you go to the salon, I don't think they're that keen on doing nails that have got nail problems, especially if they think it's a fungus when it isn't, because it can look like that if you've got psoriasis. Even if you want to go to an event, you're getting married, you can put these nails on and the guarantee is to start getting loose in that after about a week. And if you really wanted to remove them, you could just use a nail clipper. So you would nail clip up to this bit, just lift it, clip it with the nail, lift it, clip it with the nail, and eventually you can lift it off. It's not that difficult. So go ahead and treat yourself to a packet of these nails and see how you get on. I'm sure you'll enjoy wearing them. They're elegant. You can get long ones and very short ones, French ones. Thank you for staying with me. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. See you in the next video.